Welcome to the postseason after the game highlights and pregame show with Coach Keith Etheridge. This week's show is brought to you by Leeds' #1 fan, Toby Banks, always there to support the Green Wave. Thank you, Toby. Our guest host this week is Jake Hogan, a Super All-State lineman on the 1997 Leeds Green Wave team, who went on to be a starting lineman for the Jacksonville State University Gamecocks.
Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you, Jake.
Coach, Leeds Herald has a check here for $150 for your football program, which is part of the almost $1,000 in sponsorship this season by the Leeds Herald and show sponsors.
We appreciate it. Appreciate all the help the Leeds Herald's given us this year.
Thank you. Coach, speaking of money and sponsorship, last week you made the longest road trip of the season. What kind of expenses are involved in taking a team on the road to the quarterfinal playoff match?
There's some pretty big expenses. We chartered 2 buses, of course. Had to get a bus for the football players, and we have about 12 or 13 freshmen who we put on the second bus because everybody won't fit on the first bus. And along in that second bus, we were able to get our cheerleaders in there, and with our cheerleading sponsor and some more coaches. So it just allows us to get more people when we take 2 buses. A lot of times during the regular season game, we had to leave some of the younger guys at home, which you don't want to do, but we only have 55 uniforms, so we can only fill up those 55. Charter buses, of course, meals, and of course, when you go that far away, you're going to have to get a meal going down there and a meal coming back for the kids, and it all adds up. But if we got to go that far to get a win in the third round state playoff, so be it.
You take it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, you rolled up over 500 yards in total offense in your 49-7 victory against Bayside last week. Tell us how the team accomplished this huge amount of yardage and high scoring.
Just running the football. I mean, we got 3 good backs. Our offensive front blocked real well Friday night. And we put the ball on the ground a couple times early, which, got me a little on the bad side. Sure. But, really responded. Our backs really responded. We had 2 backs over 100 yards and another one with only 4 carries, like 87 yards or something to that nature. So, our guys have done everything we've asked them to do all year long, and I think that's the reason we're 13-0 right now.
That's fantastic. Coach, we're down to 4 teams, Leeds, Gordo, Hamilton, and Piedmont in the semifinals. Hamilton and Piedmont will take care of each other this Friday night, and we have to take care of Gordo. Have a long history with 4 state titles and 11 region titles, and their only loss this year was to 6A Hillcrest out of Tuscaloosa. So what are we up against?
They remind us a lot of us.
Really?
They remind me a lot of us. They've got a lot of speed, a lot of skill players. Good size up front. They're a good football team. They run the Franklin system, do a lot of that kind of stuff. But they spread you to run it a little more than they do to throw it. So we're up against a good football. Yeah, they're a good physical football team. We're going to be tested Friday night, and I think if we come out of this game, we'll be battle tested through the playoffs, and I think we'll be ready to play in the state championship game if we get through this game.
You wouldn't want it any other way.
Absolutely.
Coach, there are 2 huge games this Friday: Leeds versus Gordo, and of course Alabama versus Auburn, along with the Thanksgiving holiday. The question is, how do you keep your team focused with all the off-field distractions going on now?
Yeah, there is a lot of off-field distractions. We got involved last year. We were playing in the Final Four, and the Alabama-Auburn game was right before we played, and some of our guys, sit and listen to the game, and some of them watch the game. We had a big screen outside and stuff. We're not going to get involved with that this year. I think it sort of took our focus off the game. We're not going to worry about Alabama-Auburn. We're going to worry about Leeds High School and Gordo, and if they, I told them if they want to watch it, they need to TiVo it. So we're going to be on the road going to Gordo, and ready to take care of business to get this program, this city back in the state championship game.
Well, good for you, and good luck to you.
I appreciate it, Jake.
Good luck to you.
Well, let me ask you this, Jake. You're a former Super All-State lineman here at Leeds High School, and you a starting lineman at my alma mater, Jacksonville State University. Coach one of the biggest schools in northern Georgia. But you also teach English and journalism. So tell us how football and athletics has helped you through college and into your career in teaching.
Well, That's a good question as far as college goes. It may be I don't know. It might have been a little bit better if I'd spent a little more time reading the playbook and not as much time reading Chaucer, you know. But it turned out well for me. But I mean, you know this as well as I do. When it comes down to it, you don't get enough out of our profession to not enjoy reaching kids. And if one of the things I learned early in my career is that classroom is just as good of a tool for reaching and influencing young men and women as the football field is sometimes. So I think it's helped, made me more of a. I think it's made me a better football coach being in the classroom. So, to answer your question.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. I feel the same way. Use athletics to advance academics.
You got to. That's right. That's right. They go hand in hand.
Well, we'd just like to make sure that everybody knows that the game this week's at 7 o'clock at Gordo. We need everybody out. They're going to have a huge crowd there. It's going to be a great atmosphere for high school football, and I know the Alabama-Auburn game starts at 1:30, but we really need to get people out there supporting the Green Wave. These guys have worked real hard all year long, and we need to get past this point, and it's a huge game for us, and we would love for everybody to come out and support the Green Wave. Let's go down to Gordo and show them who the real Green Wave are.
Roll Green Wave.